Welcome back. I'm Adrienne, your expert on all things custom home building and luxury. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Tell a friend how much fun we have on the Fraser Homes channel. So today we're talking about common regrets homeowners experience. That's right. After the construction process is over, punch list is done, you've gotten your keys, you've moved in, and then you say, "Oh man, I wish I would have." So let's talk about some of those regrets. One is not enough storage. Okay. And it has been going on for years. How many houses have you gone in older houses that were built in the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond, and you walk in and there's not enough closet space. Okay. This is happening still in 2025 where we are not considering the amount of storage that we need. That's closets, that's pantries, that's garages. You need to think about your storage, okay? Because you want to have not just what you are bringing when you move into your new Fraser home, but what you are going to acquire. So that is a mistake. And that is something that we caution. We talk to our homeowners because we try to be your eyes and ears and we say, do you have enough storage for your Christmas tree, for your summer excursions and your kayaks and all of the things? Do you have enough storage? So not enough storage is one of the common regrets. Number two is poor lighting. That's right. Okay. So you say, oh, I just need a few can lights. We are not really into the lighting. Listen, lighting is important. That is similarly situated to windows. You want to make sure that you have enough natural light that's coming in your house. This is the reason why we think about how your house is plotted. So we are positioning your house on the plot plan where that you're getting the most amount of sunlight. We understand the sun rises on the east and it sets on the west. So we're thinking about that. And so you can understand why we say that it is a very intense and very dynamic process in terms of the details because we're thinking about it from a 360 perspective, but not having enough lighting. Not having enough lighting is also not having enough jacks to have the light. Okay. So you don't have enough plugs, and we're thinking about want to make sure that we have enough plugs in the room so that you can put a floor lamp if you so choose, etc. Okay. Awkward kitchen layouts. That's another mistake that we make. Not thinking about the counter space that you need is huge. And if you're going to have different appliances on the counters, you want to factor that in. If you want to be able to spread all of your charcuterie boards and all of your tea party items on your islands, not thinking about that will result in a mistake. And obviously, that ties to the discussion about storage because if appliances, you don't want to see your appliances on the countertops, then you want to make sure you have enough storage in your pantry, etc. Okay, so what is another regret? Wasted or unused rooms. So that's formal dining rooms, oftentimes are unused spaces. Gyms are often even theater rooms. Okay, so you love to have this theater room, but it turns out that everybody just piles in the family room on the couch and you watch Netflix there instead of in the theater room. Those are regrets. Think about how you live. Are you going to use the space? Why is this important? How do you want to feel when you're in the space? Is it going to be inviting? You know, when you're thinking about a theater room, for example, just the furniture in the theater room, if it feels too clunky or if it feels cold, you might be reluctant to go in. And so that may be a regret. So you want to be thoughtful. Remember, we talked about your lifestyle and designing your home for the life that you actually have and that you're going to lead. Okay, trendy versus timeless. This is something that you've heard me talk about multiple times, okay? We've got trends that happen all the time. You have dark hardwood floors, then you have light hardwood floors. You have curved staircases, then you have straight staircases. You have grids in the windows, no grids in the windows. All of those examples are different trends that happen year after year. And you want something timeless, something that stands the test, something that it lives beyond the trend. Now, you do understand that Fraser Homes is happy to come in and do a mass renovation if you decide that some of the things that you've chosen are not going to work for you long term. That's absolutely fine. But think about the long term aspects. So, for example, we have one of our Peter Loon projects. We'll post a picture here. This was a modern project that we did, and the homeowners, they put in a elevator shaft. And so they were thinking, okay, we want this to be our forever home, and we want to make sure that we're considering any mobility issues. So they put the shaft in, and so when it's time, we'll be able to just go back and pop that elevator right in. So again, the regrets come because we're not thinking long term, and we're doing trendy things, or we're doing things that don't really align with our lifestyle for the long haul. Okay, not planning for the future. That's just what I said, not planning for the future. So lots of steps. Okay, if you have mobility issues, are you going to be able to get up those steps? You need to be thinking about that. And that ties into the lot that you get. So if you are very, very adamant that you do not want any steps in your home and you're going to have a ranch style house, we have to have a lot that goes along with that. You remember back in the day when we built down on Walworth, that was our Columbia Tusculum builds. Those lots were relatively small, so you only had vertical space. But the compromise was we went ahead and put in elevators in those spaces. So you still had the stairs, but you had the elevators. And so that kind of addresses the mobility. So be flexible when you're looking for lots, and be flexible when it comes to the overall design. All right, here is the last one, rushing the build. Okay, you cannot rush the process. And so when you are in the design phases, especially if for some reason you have an architect that you work with before you award the job to the builder. Now, you'll remember in episodes many, many moons ago, we talked about the interdisciplinary team and how it is much better for you to have your team in place at the onset. So who's on the interdisciplinary team? That is your architect, your builder, and your designer. If you have those folks at the start of your design, you will actually save more time, and you will have more people looking at your overall schematic and drawings and saying, hey, are you sure? Do you want to add this storage area? Do you want to make sure that you're thinking about this space? What are you going to do in terms of your family or your aging parents that are coming? Do you have an ensuite for them in terms of the bathrooms? And the list goes on. So you want to have your interdisciplinary team. However, if in fact you only have your architect, you don't want to rush that process. You want to make sure that you're designing exactly what you want. And we will have an episode on Know the Difference about what to do when your architect is missing the mark when it comes to your design and your overall vision for your home. But there you have it. Those are the mistakes, okay? So not enough storage, poor lighting, awkward kitchen designs, wasted and unused space, trendy versus timeless, not planning for the future, and rushing the build. Those are the common mistakes. And because we are your expert builder, we try to get ahead of that before it ever happens, because we want your forever home to be exactly what you envisioned from start to finish. If your builder is not talking to you about those different elements, it may mean they don't know the difference.